All right. Hi friends, Stella here, and I'm here to do your December reading. This reading is, well, this intro is for all signs. I'm going to get into the general astrology for the month, and then we'll jump into your specific readings for each sign. If you're brand new, welcome. This is a place you can come every month to get information, guidance, clarity, insight on your specific sign. So what's going on for the month. If you would like a personal reading, I will link that down below. If you are returning, thank you guys so much. I love you and I'm super excited to be back. I'm going to just jump into it. We'll pull a general card for all signs, but quickly I'm going to go over my notes here for the general astrology for the month. Okay, so for December, we have the new moon on the 23rd and we have the full moon on December 5th. So first of all, coming off of eclipse season in November, we had 2 eclipses. So in general, the energy is very tumultuous. We are clearing out old, outdated patterns. We are dealing with family karma, personal karma in our relationships, at work, in all areas of life. So the eclipses, what they do is dredge up, right? All the emotional content that we have in the subconscious, make it conscious. So this can be a very stressful time. It's a time when, you know, maybe things that you thought you had left in the past, thought that you had gotten over, right? Continue to come back up. And although it's difficult, the purpose is so that you can see it for what it is, you know, make it conscious so that you can choose to make different choices in the future. The point of something being in your subconscious means it's right? It's below the level of consciousness. And so life will bring it up in such a way that you can no longer ignore. So that's happening for everybody on a personal level. The reason I bring it up is because it's intense. It's been really intense for a lot of people. And not only are you dealing with your own karma, but we are shifting timelines. So if you're here, you're probably an empath, light worker, somebody who's well on their way on their spiritual journey. And if that's the case, you're probably not new to this sort of shadow work. The whole point of these readings is to bring illumination, clarity, guidance to you so that you can make the choices most aligned with your highest good. And the work that you're doing now, the work that we're all doing on a collective level, is not only clearing your own personal life, but you're clearing years and generations of trauma for yourself, your own lineage, and future generations to come. So I won't go into it too much, but it's extremely powerful right now. This time of year, the veil is very, very thin. So you may be having synchronicities, coincidences, things happening that you don't expect. And it can be difficult, but the purpose is to sort of roll with the punches, because once we get out on the other side, you will be able to see the value in all the work that you're doing. So I know that it can feel like crap just continues to come up, but there is a purpose for it. Okay. Let's jump into December real quick. On December 1st, we have Venus opposite Mars. This can be difficult in relationships. Venus is the planet of love. Mars is the planet of, war. So we have the feminine versus the masculine. It can bring up a lot of fights, a lot of misunderstandings, head versus heart, conflicts in the outer world, in your relationships, and also personally, internally. We also have Mercury square Neptune. So I have written here, communication may be shaky. Neptune is the gatekeeper of the subconscious. Mercury is the ruler of communication. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can see, but my puppy's right here. Come to say hi. So communication will be deep, but it's also unexpected. So what I have written down here is it's almost like you have a conversation, somebody says something in passing or in a sort of very casual way, and then you walk away and later realize, oh wow, like that was very deep. There were more layers. There's nuance to conversation. And I'm also getting the phrase like the truth hurts. So cutting communication. On December 4th, we have Venus square Neptune. This may be where you have ideals or values that you've superimposed onto your relationship. And it causes conflict, or even your sense of self, your self-love. Maybe you have, warped or limiting ideas about yourself. They're going to come to the surface around the 4th. On the 6th, Mercury in Sag square Jupiter in Pisces. So big ideas. Jupiter in Pisces is the spiritual, the metaphorical, everything having to do with death and rebirth, that 12th house, and Jupiter amplifies everything. So you may be challenged in your ideological beliefs on the big stuff, right? The existential stuff. So all this leads up in the beginning of the month. Sorry, I have it wrong here. It could either be the 5th or the 7th, but full moon in Gemini. On the 15th, we have the sun in Sag, square Mars. So lots of squares this month. So I have challenges in your ideas of self. Maybe it's a scenario at work where you think that you might react a certain way, and in reality, you react a completely different way. 21st, we have the solstice. We also have Sun in Capricorn, square Jupiter in Aries. So I have challenges in your concept of yourself at work, how you see yourself versus how you're actually showing up. It has to do with your work ethic. So perhaps you think that you're a certain way, some circumstance comes up, you think of yourself as, let's say, industrious. Something happens, and the way that you react or the way that other people perceive you challenges your idea of yourself, okay? On the 22nd, we have Venus in Capricorn, trine Uranus. So this one is positive. It says you may surprise yourself in a pleasant way at work or in terms of your work ethic. On the 15th, 21st, we have the solstice, which is coming into the time of darkness, right? Going into the winter. Winter represents the subconscious. So again, everything from underneath bubbling up to the surface and showing up right in your face. So around the time of the 15th, you have this thing going on at work where it's like you see yourself a certain way, and some circumstance or something maybe with coworkers, some scenario happens where it makes you sit back and go, wow, am I really, how I think I see myself, is how I perceive myself and my ideas of self, and when it comes to work ethic and how I show up at work or my habits at work. Is it valid, or does it need some upgrading? And then on the 22nd, we kind of confirm this new idea that you have after your identity was challenged. So it's almost like you find something that you love about your work. You find home, peace, comfort that you can incorporate into yourself. The notes I have are, you may surprise yourself in a pleasant way at work in terms of your work ethic or how you show up. You find comfort or beauty in some aspect of your work, and it comes unexpectedly with Uranus. Uranus is, lightning, unique. So it's almost like you're challenged on the 15th, and then the solstice happened. Then all of a sudden you find some new value in your work. So you incorporate what you do or some aspect of what you do into yourself, right? Into your soul, your identity. 27th, we have Moon conjunct Saturn. So you may surprise yourself finding meaning or structure in yourself or others in emotional knowledge. Also communication. It might be with your friends or some social aspect of work. You find an unexpected value. So then on the 23rd, we have the new moon in Capricorn. And on the 29th, we have Mercury in retrograde. So overall, a lot of stuff happening in work, in your work sector, how you show up in the world, how you show up to take care of your responsibilities, express your work ethic, contribute to the community. So a lot of change happening in how you see yourself. And again, that goes along with coming off the heels of eclipse season and realizing that all of this subconscious data coming up does not fit with where we want to be, right? So how do you incorporate what you want for yourself in the future with what you're currently doing? What do you need to change? And then what are these things coming up from the past that you need to give attention to in order to become the new version of yourself that moves forward, right? All right, so I'm going to pull a general card. What's the general card for December, please? We have the Tower, and we have the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is about being in an environment that is not conducive. You can see this is a butterfly. It's going through its metamorphosis, its change, its transformation, but it's not in a very good way, right? So this is like you're transforming on the inside, but your environment is not very conducive to your change. You're finding meaning in yourself. Rather than looking towards the external, towards the outside for your meaning and your purpose, you're starting to turn inwards. And the reason you're doing that is because your environment is not conducive to change. You've got all this transformation going on the inside, and yet, like this butterfly, right? If it's not very careful, it's going to open its wings and get pierced by all these swords. Swords are communication, they're gossip, they're talking from the outside coming at you. And here you are just sort of like in this state of, pause or transformation, completely unaffected by the external, but you're gonna have to deal with it sooner or later. And then this is echoed by the Tower card, which is unexpected change. This is very much a Uranus card. We have this tall, tree, and it's being struck by lightning. Obviously, damage is happening, right? But the beautiful thing about this card is this is an evergreen, right? It's actually a redwood. Redwood trees actually, they reproduce by putting up shoots, but they also make seeds. And the only way that they can produce seeds is if they're struck by fire, really. So in the destruction comes rebirth. Fire is the only thing hot enough to break open the cones on their seeds to release new, genetic material, new opportunity, new growth. So although you have a challenging environment right now, there's growth going on the inside, and you're ready for change. But there is going to be a lot of change in your environment coming up soon, and that's precisely because, but also to benefit all of the work that you're doing on the inside. And then we have the Mother of Cups, which is the, Queen of Emotions, Queen of Water. So this is about really taking stock of your emotions, not ignoring them, paying mind to how you're feeling at any given moment, okay? And then letting inspiration strike with the Eight of Wands, again with the lightning, right, with the Uranus. So it's almost like some inspiration, some moment of lightning, eureka, aha moment is going to happen that's going to allow you to look at your environment in a new way, so that you can, make your way around these swords without getting pierced, okay? So we're going to jump into the readings for the specific signs. If you guys would like a personal reading, please check out my website link down below. You can purchase a reading or a healing there. Be sure to check back for your moon magic reading, and on to your readings.